Hey YouTube, Coppersan here. Cool intro, right? Squeaky Neko made a Street Cat plush and Corey says animated it to fit the intro. Freaking amazing, thank you both so much. A new test server update dropped in MapleStory Korea, so let's take the plane to that side of the world and see what is happening this time around. This will be the very first update after the ignition update, and that one will get mid-November, so this particular update won't drop until early next year most likely. And this update will provide some minor skill changes. Mechanics are gonna be absolutely amazing now and will test your endurance with our new changes. But most importantly, the new boss UI looks absolutely gorgeous. I have no clue who thought it was a good idea to greenlit the one that we have right now. It looks straight out of 2006, it looks absolutely horrible. But this new shiny one is exactly what we needed. And Ursus is back in there as well for some additional convenience. Looks like MapleStory is finally turning into a proper MMO after 18 years, getting a proper bossing UI. And more good news, Maples can also access the bossing UI again through the party window, even though it will be an additional click. So about the skill changes, you're probably thinking already about making Best Legion effect mule mechanic. No, a real mechanic. Ah, yes, perfection. This class has gotten a lovely buff, but if you remember the ignition update videos that I made a couple of weeks ago, mechanics could hold down their missile button to keep firing missiles, but as soon as you moved into a different direction, or jumped, or attacked, or basically pressed any key, you would have to press the key again to automatically start firing missiles, which ironically for a homing missile skill kinda missed the point. You can, for example, if you're walking already, hold down the arrow key and then hold down the missile key and you'll just fire off your missiles as you move along, but changing direction or dashing or simply using any other skill will cancel the missile firing and you'll have to press the button again. And I don't know much about mechanics, but I'm pretty certain they don't grind while walking slowly from left to right only using missiles. Pretty sure that's not how they grind, right? So that skill change was kind of a letdown, but thankfully the genius minds at Nexon finally did what at least I wanted them to do. You can now hold down the missile firing button while moving, firing, jumping, firing off different attacks, jumping, you name it. This will absolutely destroy your MP bar, but mechanics are freaking amazing now. Just hold down the missile button forever and you're good, just as long as you have auto potion or something on. This actually is a massive DPM increase, I feel like. Keep in mind though, this is still in the test server, but I hope it stays because it is freaking amazing. You can just hold down this button while you're attacking and jumping around the map, and you can just defeat anything with it if your missiles deal enough damage. That is actually really OP. Speaking of OP, Mechanics' AP salvo got changed as well, just to attack enemies that are in its way now. It's sort of like angles, and it just hits everything that it passes through, and like what it did before. The rock and shock summons will now last 70 seconds, and the cooldown was reduced from 160 seconds to 80 seconds, and the duration of your robot factory and cannon summons were increased from 60 seconds to 70 seconds as well, just to sync that up better with your other skills. Also, wanna know another cool mechanic fact? Mapler and YouTuber Pasumi found out that if you run out of MP on your mech and then use a mount or a chair, you can actually change the color of those to the color of your mechanic. How cool is that? Is that a feature or a bug? I don't know. I left your video in the top comment if you want to check that one out. This is full of cool mechanic tips and tricks. Besides that, there also are some cooldown changes for Bowmaster and Marksman's hyper skills. Both will now last for 40 seconds and have a cooldown of 120 seconds, just to sync up better with their burst again. Dual Blade's Flashbang skill has had its cooldown halved to 30 seconds, and its duration on monsters was increased to 60 seconds to 1 minute, and the duration is just as long on boss monsters now. For Mercedes, the duration of her debuffs applied on her Spikes Royale and Lightning Edge was doubled to 60 seconds as well. And after the ignition update, Shade has gotten a buff to Bomb Punch, increasing its normal monster bonus damage by 85%. And now the damage to normal monsters with this skill is going to be increased even more to 255%. Looks like mobbing with Shades will be absolutely amazing after this update. The smoothness of the skill got improved as well with the ignition update. And finally, and also kinda surprisingly, Arc has gotten some buffs. Well, sorta. So, the ignition update changed the Abyssal Recall skill, reducing the cooldown from 200 seconds to 120 seconds, but also the attack duration was decreased by about 40% and the damage was reduced. The idea was to make the skill deal about the same amount of damage over time, but you could just use it more often. But it turned out that the numbers didn't really add up and the skill was actually nerfed. So now the continuous damage on the first part of the skill was improved from 435% to 700%. And the explosion damage was improved as well, and I want you to hold on to your chairs because this is absolutely massive. It was increased from 1444% to 1450%. 50%. Massive gains to the explosion right there, Nexon. Thank you so much. That's 6% damage. That's gonna make... I'm just gonna one-shot the Black Mage right now. Also, the cooldown on their bind, Brilliant Restraint, was lowered from 180 seconds to 120 seconds. So that's nice as well. This update didn't really have any additional content being added, and we still have no clue what the bigger winter update will bring to MapleStory Korea. That's gonna be our summer update, but I think we can expect something a bit later this year, since Ignition is still kinda going on the Korean server. They're pretty late. This update did bring a few new events though. There is Tactical Relay, that's coming back. For this event you'll have to complete daily missions on different classes. With every 3rd, 6th and 9th daily mission completed, you'll get rewards. Those are double XP cards, leveling potions, symbol selectors, the usual stuff. For every mission completed, you'll get points as well, and every 1000 points you'll get additional rewards. Those are again level up potions, EXP node stones and much more. But most importantly, if you complete the full event every day, there is a 20k Maple Point gift voucher, which is actually pretty nice. Again, for this event there will be a hidden mission where you'll have to solo Lotus on 3 different characters to get a massive chair. Moving on, Haste is coming back as well. This event lets you hunt monsters in level range and clear special missions like using runes, defeat the Infernal Wolf, stuff like that. Haste this time around has an event store where you can purchase rewards, and monsters will drop Haste booster packs that will burn the map and provide a boost like before. But this time you can also trade them to your other characters if I understood the notes correctly. I don't know, my Korean is kinda shoddy. And finally there is also a new event called Punch King Season 1. Here Maplers can see who is the strongest once and for all. This is just your regular Punch King machine event where you have to deal as much damage as possible within 2 minutes, and the better you perform, the better the rewards will be. There is also a job-based ranking that you can see in most major towns. There were some other minor improvements made with this update as well, like finally an exit button was added to the Hungry Muto PQ. About time. Link skills will be displayed in alphabetical order, easy and normal sickness can be accessed from the same map, and the same goes for easy, normal and hard Magnus. And that's kind of it for this update so far. It's gonna be a smaller in-between update that we'll get after the Ignition update. What do you think about this one? Let me know in the comments. And what do you think about Mechanic Man? Those are looking really good right now. Do keep in mind though that everything is still in the test server, so things might still be changed before they go live, but if they do, then I'll make sure to report on those. And that's all for today. As always, many thanks to our members for making these videos possible. Thanks to Niels, Coninck, Raar, maar waar, Sebastian, Hanoy, Ryalias, Terry Kim, Vareese, Mora, Wiley, Historycanon, BackSpaceOTI, Saffronyx, Ziggy Deer, Flidiet, Knifesu, Cloudfix, Gusus Rodriguez, Digby, Vira, Trevor, Michael Machaka, Ratius, Justin Veil, Silvio Nato, Afterlord _ MS, Striker Elk, Tidal 1 Pun, Radical Jaws, Riser Are Sir Tito 655, Mathias Simonsson, PC Game Life, The Passenger, Martin Panzik, Conrad Crystallis, Ace Light, Mr. Anark, Ben Wolf, Max Bernhardt, Muka 1017, BNB King, Scotty Flies Fast, Priscilla, Brendon Cam, Vague Botnet, Fecko, Victor Sundstrom, Ceemak, Only, Rashid Alarmudi, Gerlando Balavia, Gianfranco Calderon Canavero, Lucky Beats, Matinho Dev, Gummy Bullet and Lord Vazil. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe and happy mapling!